Good evening. It is July 23rd, 2024, and it is still 84 degrees outside. Do you know where your president is?
Future war ist past.
Hallo, hier ist Blofeld.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTube Ronin. I would like to welcome you to this week's episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. This show chronicles the cult classic television series Twin Peaks, created by David Lynch and Mark Frost. Joining me on this odyssey are super fans, Netters Network.
Good evening, everyone.
Troy Pacelli.
Hello, hello.
And of course, Aged Boomer.
Hello.
Or should I say Dougie?
Hello.
I don't know. I busted a gut when that scene.
I know, right?
I'm like, yeah, let's go with this. I don't know what he's doing here. Let's go with this. I love the casino. I love him yelling before it happens and all the money.
I really do feel like the Dougie Jones bits are that lighthearted levity that you expected from like Andy and Lucy and you know all of them. It's just bonkers, off the wall, silly in a totally harmless way, and you're
we've
like,
only
okay.
scratched the surface, not to spoil too much, but yes.
Yes, yeah. Oh, we get to now see a lot more of Dougie's day-to-day life in tonight's episode. That's true. And I will say that I can't speak for everybody, but as for my president, I can't be certain. He's either in North Carolina or he is getting ready to go to North Carolina because tomorrow night at 6 o'clock he will be speaking.
Yeah.
6 o'clock North Carolina time. Charlotte, specifically.
while we are looking forward to that, I do want to say hello to the chat. Fizz, fizz. Oh, it really fizz. All right.
I'm just pouring a drink, yeah.
Emoji Queen, the Lady Mist. Channel member FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Host of Films with Friends. The creator of the 10-Word Review, Big Out Presents. Channel member Curtis Selby, tired midnight blogger himself. All right, scrolling down. Faithful Blue Wrench, channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Clary. Scrolling down, I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. And all right, I have Logical Spark, JP RPH1, and of course we can't do the show without Nate. Geek Flagged with Nate Knows, 1973. All right, I think that is everyone who has joined us in the chat so far. I would, of course, like to also say hello to everyone joining us live on Twitter or X, whichever you choose to call it. I cannot see you, but I know that you're there. So please hit the like, share out the stream, and if you are new to any of our channels or the channels of those in the chat, please take the time out to do so now. All right. Let's, I guess, attempt to sum up last week's episode. No Amanda Seyfried yet. No Naomi Watts yet. And no Laura Dern yet. And I was.
Do you want me to drop a spoiler about which one of those three you will get to see tonight? Okay.
No. Okay. No. Let it be a surprise.
Okay.
All right.
We waited this long without spoilers.
Okay. All right. So, Troy, would you care to maybe sum up a little bit? We met a rather interesting character named Dougie, and
yes.
And it seems that he has all of Cooper's marbles, so to speak.
Yeah, but it seems like some of those marbles are kind of missing. More like Swiss cheese, if you're looking for an analogy. Mm-hmm. Something didn't quite translate. So backing up, we know that there was some sort of an alignment coming up. That 25-year mark that we were specifically looking for in universe was at a specific time on a specific day, and evil Dale, evil, Dark Cooper, if you will, is trying to pull together machinations to keep himself out of the Black Lodge. He doesn't want to return. He and Bob, they're one and the same right now, and as Dale is trying to get out of the Black Lodge, he ends up, following that apparition, preceding that apparition into that plexiglass box or glass box in New York or whatever. And he's floating around and he ends up somewhere else. Another extra dimensional location, possibly one of the lodges, something like that. He encounters a female entity with like no eyes, whispering to be quiet because mother's coming and she'll hear you. And he also encounters someone referred to in the credits as American Girl. She looks like Ronette Pulaski, who tells him he needs to leave, soon. And she points to an electrical device on the wall that kind of sucks him in through it, leaving his shoes behind. Now, yeah, well, here's where I think the shoes are important.
Yeah, shoes.
When we see what's on the other side of that, yeah, it's like he's pulled into a giant electrical outlet, and when we see the other side of that electrical outlet, a normal electrical outlet, it's near the floor of a wall in a motel room where someone who looks like Agent Cooper but like overweight with long hair is with a lady for hire, whom you see all of, and they make a financial exchange. She goes to take a shower. He's having problems with his right hand. He can't feel his right hand, but you see that he's wearing that green ring from Fire Walk with Me. He falls to the ground, gets sick, and he gets pulled into the outlet. Meanwhile, Evil Cooper is driving down the road, and he's getting dizzy, and his vision's going in and out. So he pulls off to the side of the road, and he gets pulled into the cigarette lighter, which is an electrical jack, right? After he gets sick. Gooddale gets spat out of the electrical wall socket, taking his predecessor's place, but he looks significantly different. He's wearing the suit that he wore when he disappeared at the end of season 2 of Twin Peaks. He's obviously more slender. His hair is, coiffed and, trim and whatnot. The prostitute notices this, but assumes that it's still the same person whom she's referring to as Dougie. And he is almost entirely nonverbal and looks completely lost, like he's in a daze. And he follows her around, and it's like he's not making any decisions on his own. People have to push him into motion for anything to happen. And they're playing it off, but it's pretty weird. So Dale, that everyone's calling Dougie, ends up at a casino. He realizes, and everyone else soon realizes, that he's got precognitive powers. He can see like a flame above one-armed bandits just before they pay off. So, he watches what people are doing, and he sees what, basically what a one-armed bandit is. You put the coin in, you pull the thing, and then from his point of view, he saw somebody win, and the person, put a coin in, got the jackpot, and he said hello, as out of excitement as he's winning. Well, he thinks every time you put a coin in and pull the one-armed bandit, you say hello, and for him it's appropriate because he's actually winning every single time. That's where we left off with him. The casino is starting to take notice of him. They were sending
armed guards to watch his jackpots.
Exactly, and the concierge was getting cups for him to put his coins into and whatnot. Anyway.
But before that, somebody's trying to kill him.
Oh, right. And as he's driving around, he's having this incredible luck because there's somebody trying to kill, a coordinated effort to kill Dougie Jones, and they're watching for him. But he reaches into. They're driving in the car. He pulls out of his pocket the Great Northern Key, and he accidentally drops it on the floor of the car. So he bends down to get it, which means outside the car you can't see him. So he drives right by his would-be killer, who doesn't know that he's there. But yeah. So he's got someone out to kill him. Who he has phenomenal luck. He's dodging. I hate to say it, he's dodging bullets, and it's almost like there's some cosmic force, like an angel following him, protecting him every step of the way in very, very supernatural kinds of ways, incredible coincidences, stuff like that. And I don't want to get too much farther without saying hi to Geek Flag with Nate Knows. Welcome, my friend. And Moira Kitty. Welcome,
and Enigma
welcome.
Severus.
Oh, Enigma Severus.
Yeah,
absolutely. Good to see you too, my friend.
All right.
And that's where we left off with Dale Dougie.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. We also have we're also following Hawk as he is looking for, he had received a couple episodes ago word from Margaret Lanterman that something is missing and he needs to find it, and it has something to do with his heritage. Lucy has asked him if it had anything to do with the chocolate bunnies, and he doesn't think it does, and he doesn't think that would have anything to do with his heritage, but I'm here to tell you that a rabbit does actually play into this a little bit later. But that is probably not what Margaret Lanterman was referring to.
But what about the pine weasels, sir? Why do you refuse to speak about the pine weasels? No, sorry.
Yeah, it's not a refusal. That's an excellent question. They don't focus on that too much. I think we're going to have to dig into the final dossier and the secret history of Twin Peaks in order to speak more to that, because I actually don't remember them ever bringing up much of anything regarding the pine weasel within the Return. That was her name, yes. I guess the woman of the evening left an indelible impression on Mark Malnikoff's mind. He says, "I hope we see more Jade." I don't think you can see more of Jade. You saw all of Jade, I don't recall.
Complaining. I'm just
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Does remind me though that in the TV show within the TV show, Imitation of Life, in the first two seasons, has a character named Jade.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, as I said, and Emerald as well.
So, I just to make a brief tangent here, somewhat unrelated, but just by way of illustration, I was watching a video today about another feature that I've been a little bit obsessed with, but it's much more contained. It's a book and a movie, and that's all there is. So other than, internet speculations about meanings and things like that, a Roman Polanski directed film called The Ninth Gate.
Yes, I remember that movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, myself included, really have really dug into very esoteric details. I'm actually working on a replica prop of the book that the movie is about. But a video I was watching kind of celebrating this film, pointed out that for all the, like I said, detailed dives that people do, apparently Roman Polanski had absolutely zero interest regarding the supernatural elements, and they were just, part of the narrative, and so he almost certainly gave it no thought. So any secret meanings that you're finding, you're absolutely projecting on it. When it comes to Twin Peaks, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Some of it very much is intentional, and I think some of it is just stylistic and not meant to be read into too greatly. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. Welcome to the chat, David Working.
Netter's Network is the White Lodge. Well, thank you, David. That's sweet of you to say. If I had to guess, she definitely is, one of the White Lodge denizens to my Dougie Jones. But I think those are the main storylines. Other than we've encountered a couple of other new characters. It's a bit of a murder mystery. I'm forgetting the characters. See, I'm not as familiar with these characters because I've only had, a handful of years with this and only rewatched this a couple times. Unlike Twin Peaks, which I've watched over and over and over again and know all the characters. I know the characters by name. I know some of the actors personally, but the newer characters...
The newer characters, I'm just kind of referring to them by the actors right now because we really don't know a whole lot about any of them.
Like what's his name? The guy who played Shaggy.
Right, Matthew Lillard, who's I don't think we've seen since the first episode.
He's in prison. His wife has been cheating on him. She got shot by Evil Dale. So they're tied in somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's involved. Well, he's being held on the charge of murder related to a weird male body and female head that was found. Obviously both dead.
A sick puppy.
And Troy has already let it be known to me that I am not going to be happy once we find out who the male body is, which has got me really worried about certain characters who are missing at the moment.
I don't even remember now, actually. No, I'm trying to think about it.
Okay, well, you'll be surprised too then. Okay. So there's a whole mystery going on there. Mm-hmm. We don't know all of what Evil Dale was involved with. Looks like he had some sort of a drug trade going with a bunch of hillbillies and
who have very poor security.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the people he was having dealings with was actually two of them were operating behind his back, hired to kill him. When he finds out who it was that hired them, they tell him that it was Agent Jeffries, which Evil Dale has a hard time believing. He's got some sort of a contraption that allows him to call Jeffries, something in a suitcase, and that kind of weird, retro-futuristic kind of technology they have within Twin Peaks.
I would like to stop you here at the moment. We have a mead raid going on.
I just saw that. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
We have Mars Monkey Max joining us. We have DeLu joining us. Tom Connors himself, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome. So glad you stopped by. Yeah.
Jonathan Conroy. All right. Thank you, Midnight's Edge, for sending people over. We have not started the episode yet. For those of us who are joining for the first time, this show is called Live from Sparkwood in 21. It is a retrospective of the Twin Peaks television series. Tonight we will be watching episode 4 of season 3 entitled The Return.
Yes.
So the Cosme links are at the top of all of the chats.
Yes.
All that we ask is if you have seen season 3 before, no spoilers, because it's going to be a first time watch for me. Also, hello to DJ Play Nice. I do see you in the chat, sir. All right.
And Deleted Scenes has been really good about holding off on watching it so he could watch it, fresh as we're doing these watch throughs. And it's actually been great for me because it's kind of nice to kind of revisit it with fresh eyes. Excuse me. Popcorn kernel, sorry.
Don't choke.
Damn it, man. We need you alive.
There we go. But, yeah, maybe we should just get into it because those
right.
other extraneous ones we can fill them in on as we go because it'll help me remember, too.
All right.
So here's what I would ask everybody as we get started. Right click on that Cosme link up at the top of the chat. If you have any problems, let me know. Cosme's been kind of weird the past couple days.
And hello to Phoenix Knight.
I'm going to get us started and then I'm going to go mute because I got
Yeah.
cough up a lung here.
Okay.
So
All right.
we're going to go ahead and kick this off. For those of you on the Blu-ray, this is disc 2, episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you on Cosme, just watch along. Here we go, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And my Cosme is not showing me anything. Let me refresh.
No, me either.
The fireplace.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me start over again.
Okay. Give us a moment, folks. Sometimes
I am going to mute. I'll be back.
Okay. Sometimes this happens with Cosme, and as we said earlier, StreamYard last few days has not exactly been everybody's friend, but we will be getting started here very shortly.
Amanda Siegfried, though, huh?
I'm all for her.
Yes, I saw her in a movie with Liam Neeson once. And Julianne Moore, and you get the impression that she's trying to make it seem like Liam Neeson is sleeping with her, but she ends up sleeping with Julianne Moore and also Liam Neeson's son. But he not with Liam Neeson though.
No,
Was that
his wife
that,
and his son.
Chloe.
Was that movie called like Chloe? Yeah, it was Chloe.
Yes, I remember
Right.
that one. Yeah.
I've seen parts of that movie a number of times. Okay, I'm going to try this again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Here we
I'm
go.
hearing it in my ear. That also means that it's coming through.
One, I do have a copy, and it's the only copy of The Secret History of Dougie. And I have some factoids about the man in his life. Did you know his favorite restaurant was Obie's? His favorite chain?
I don't even know what Obie's is.
It's a sandwich place that serves sad sandwiches that have no flavor. Anyway,
Oh God!
but there you go. We like Dougie, don't we? I bet he was, maybe not the life of the party.
Yeah, you get the impression that I don't want to give too much away, but you get the impression that the character that Dougie starts out as and the character that he was when he was unmade, he went through a not so very positive character arc. Now he's been replaced by a very Swiss cheese minded Agent Cooper, we're gonna kind of, in a way, it's almost like that movie regarding Henry. We're looking at somebody's life from the perspective of that person not having any memory of that life.
And that's the part where the credits make me dizzy.
Yeah.
So thanks for that. All right.
Now, this is
Las Vegas.
this is Vegas, isn't it? No
Yes,
Reno
it is.
here. We are at Vegas.
And this is why I think that
Oh, hey.
this happened to both Dougie and Dale. Their shoes were left behind when they went through their little portals. There you go.
See, now they could accuse him of cheating if he stayed on the same machine and kept getting jackpot after jackpot after jackpot. But he's just going on to different ones. How is he cheating then? You know?
You got to remember
Look at the bucket.
the way it works with these casinos. They don't have to prove that you're cheating. If you win too much, they can ask you to leave. If you don't leave, they can refuse you service.
I'm sorry. And that's what Dennis Dismalkian from Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
That one. Mr.
Boy,
Jackpot.
does she live in the casino? What the heck? That's no.
You know what?
Over.
It's entirely possible, yes.
One more.
I mean, she really, it really is possible, and my understanding is some people do. People become addicted, and they literally live in the casino.
And she looks homeless.
That, or she just hasn't bathed in a while. But maybe she's homeless. I don't know.
But as long as she's funneling money into those machines, they'll let her stay. They'll let her go to the what do they call that?
The buffets
The
and all
buffets,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, my name is Earl.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should know her.
Have they still gone along behind him to collect all of his winnings to give to him?
Yeah.
What's he got in his hand? A burger?
A sandwich of some kind, yeah.
There's a hot dog. What is he eating there?
And I'm Arthur, King of the Britons.
He's hungry.
He hasn't eaten in the past 25 years.
Yes. He better not walk by a bakery with a cherry pie in the front. He'll wolf that thing down.
After I collect my winnings
Yeah.
and make sure that I'm not killed by the mob,
Don't you? That's funny. Think about it. When you go to somebody's house, oftentimes you know the street that they're on, but you may not remember the
Nope.
address because you just know their house.
Unless every single house is identical. Then it's like, wait, what's the street number?
Yeah,
again?
when I go to Schletter's house, I got to look for his truck out front.
I would have pointed him towards the food.
And that's very interesting. This is the kind of reaction people always have.
What? Oh, here we go.
people
Jack
either want to
Bauer.
help him or ignore him or kill him, you know?
Oh boy.
Well, he should have a lot of money coming to him right now.
Yeah, and that's why they want to talk to him. Now, this is interesting because he was just about to walk out. They could have just kept all that money.
I'm glad Dennis S. Malkin was on this. I didn't realize it at the time. He should be in Lynch stuff. He's the right kind of actor for that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Always look at the little pen holder with the dice.
Why don't you give him a sandwich, huh? Come on. Holy cow, what is
Can
that?
you imagine leaving the casino with one of those kind of, bags? As a matter of fact, he was, you dumbass.
Does he have a number written down? Hey,
Yeah.
what is-
If you are watching along with us, yes, you might very well be confused if you have not seen the first few episodes. We'll do our best to kind of help you along. It is a very, very confusing
I
film.
think if you miss. Oh wait, look.
I'm me.
See, and here's another example. He has no memory, but he's running into people in just the exact order he needs in order to have the information he needs.
Is that all just cash?
Yeah,
Wow.
which is unlikely. When you win at a casino,
He's trying to give it back.
yeah, he doesn't realize it's being given to him.
Cooper, take the cash, retire, and get the hell out of Dodge.
Right.
He's earned retirement at this point.
Take the money and
Get the flock out of here.
Never come back.
Yes. That's why that's why they always be nice to you. Would you like some companionship and stuff? Because they want you to gamble. Gamble the money back.
did you catch that? Because of the way he repeats, without understanding, may very well have misunderstood his meaning. Anytime, day or night, he says, or night, which implies something if you think he knows what he's talking about.
Oh my goodness. Which actor is this? I keep thinking I've seen him in places before.
Yeah, there's you see that a lot. There's a lot of character actors in here. Yeah, that's exactly right. The link is at the top. We are streaming it on Cosme. So you can watch along with us if you click on that Cosme link at the top of the chat.
Red Door. That's black.
But he doesn't know anything else, yeah.
Why do I think this conversation has happened in real life somewhere?
You're absolutely right. I could totally see that happening.
Red door.
And I just made another connection here. So Dougie Jones lives in a house with a red door, and a red door becomes very important at the very end of this season too, in another house.
It's a nice limo, huh?
It is. Well, it's a casino, right? from the driver's point of view, this probably isn't that weird. He's probably brought a lot of drunks home, you know.
He
What
might
is
be
it
on.
lately? Go ahead.
Door.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What is it lately about people having trouble getting in and out of limos?
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Go up to the red door. Boy.
If I was a driver, it's like, do you want me to walk you to the door?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's kind of ruining my theory about him thinking he's drunk.
Yeah, does he even have the keys to this place? That Great Northern key ain't going to help him get in.
No.
And Tim says, speaking of Lynch, I saw an Eraserhead bumper sticker today at work. Tim, have you seen the movie Eraserhead? Eventually we will be watching that movie here. I think there's a lot of relevance there. Oh, Curtis, that's right. There's a red door in Insidious. I'd forgotten about that.
Oh, yeah.
What just flew overhead?
You look like a hawk.
Or an owl. See, it wouldn't have been much of a spoiler.
How did I know? Okay.
Oh.
Oh, Snapple.
That's actually more information than he's going to get she's going to get from Dale. She's big mad.
And she hasn't even noticed the big sack in his hands.
And Tim says it was Flappy that flew over. She's gonna change her tune real quick.
Hey, but Selwyn, we got some questions for you too. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. See, that is the logical reaction, right?
Okay, I won't.
Mr. Jackpot, yeah. See, this is establishing the pattern. A lot of people do this. They have to make assumptions to fill in his silence.
What's he looking at?
So obviously they had some sort of debt.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the debt collector trying to kill him.
Right. And Tim says, no, he's Mr. Coffee.
So this kid's birthday must have been that day because the balloons are still up, right?
Or the day before, yeah. Because he's been missing for 3 days.
Yeah.
Dilemma thing in common. Do you
Is he
think
even
Biden
one
is really
piece out of the
doppelganger?
entire cake?
Maybe.
Well, they probably had guests.
Hmm.
You know, if
That's
there's a
true.
bunch of kids there, they probably.
And I wonder if I'm going to make you a sandwich is like, you know, slipping into traditional roles, right?
Well, he probably needs seeds. Oh, here we go.
Holy smokes!
Yes! Yes!
Richard Chamberlain! Anjin San lives. The original Jason Bourne, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim, it's sometimes really hard to tell. The lighting makes even location, simple in-camera location shots, all kinds of weird looking. Yeah.
Yep.
So Denise is in a high position of authority
Yeah.
now.
Yes, that is David Duchovny, correct.
Yes.
Reprising his role from the original series. Oh, gosh.
No.
Tim's like, so that's what happened to Fox Mulder.
It was aliens.
Yeah. Too much. TMI. TMI.
He was probed too much, that's for sure.
I get points for David Duchovny for reprising this part.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if he got a nose job and made his nose a little bit smaller, he'd actually be a very attractive woman. His nose is just too big.
Yeah, I think Denise has had enough work done. Let's just let it be. Yeah, hot flashes.
Twin Peaks Sheriff Department.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm always happy when they're back in town. Our first look at Brennan Jr. there.
She doesn't know how a thermostat works?
Well, she may not realize older thermostats, you'd set it and it would just stay and you'd either turn it on and off. Now they have variable heats. You can set it for different times.
Oh, like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Lucy's down.
See, that's... I find this rather funny because you're looking at it from the point of view of somebody who has... And we were kind of in the same situation. We lived in a time before cell phones. You can watch some of the older films that are predicated on landline phones and pay phones and things like that wouldn't work the same with cell phones.
Well, we seem to have a bigger office and more technology here.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is he Sheriff Truman? Did
They'll
that come up?
explain it. Yeah, they'll explain it. Remember, they said there's more than one Sheriff Truman.
Yeah.
One was sick and the other was in the mountains. He was the one that was in the mountains.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, Mars, I was saying in a previous... Oh, and here we have our reintroduction of Bobby Briggs.
Bobby Briggs.
They literally
Seems
brought
like-
back everybody that they could, and even some of the people that had already passed, they found some ways to work their characters in.
Is that Bobby Briggs?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
He got his act together.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
This is what I was saying. I said he's got a wonderful story arc that pays off well this season.
Oh, I want to just pat down that poof ball
I know,
on his
right?
head. He looks like a really deranged Cupid doll.
I hate to say this, there are probably still people in this country where this is going to come as a revelation. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And from Lucy's point of view, you got to remember that she's the one who answers the phones, right? So this is a big one for her. That's why they have her be the one that, focuses on this. He does look like Ed Grimley. Good point. Yeah, everyone's getting mileage out of his hair. I do love that they have a Christmas picture, behind her of the two of them.
And a kid.
Yep.
That
Yes.
must be their son.
Yeah, that's right, Nate.
It's like, he's so dumb. How did he pass the police academy?
I think he's gotten dumber with age. But maybe I'm being too harsh.
I don't feel like he's changed. What's happened is that it's like the world's advanced around him, and so he's even more anachronistic than he was before.
Okay, if you look at the build of the other guy,
Yeah.
him, you can see he's heavy set. Then
Yeah.
you look at Andy, it's like, that's definitely a pillow.
Yeah.
What do you think of Chad?
Chad is no Chad.
Is that a hanging Chad?
Hey, not Chris Pratt. Beat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you do that. In fact, never come back again.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah, of course.
Ah, there's Bobby.
Mhm.
Oh, good. Okay, maybe not so good.
Yeah, this is rough. A lot of things come flooding back to him.
Yeah.
You see this from his point of view, and it's like, oh my God, he was not ready for this.
Not good ones.
Mostly not, probably. Yeah.
And nobody else hears the music but him.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's not about hearing the music, it's about feeling it. It establishes the mood. See, Mars, you totally are getting it, yes.
Garland Briggs died in a fire. I call bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The one that came in looks a lot like Dale Cooper. But those eyes.
Yeah.
He got crazy eyes.
Oh boy. See, you could totally read a lot of humor into this, but it's hard when you've taken this journey and you know what he's going through. You know? And so this is our first introduction to their son Wally.
Oh, of course.
He's obviously lived up to that Brando name. This is a Lynchian way of doing an exposition dump.
I want to pay my respects to the
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
Why does he think he's Al Pacino or something?
He thinks he's Brando.
Oh,
because-
that's what. Brando.
Okay. First
he
things
literally
first. Come
is
back
living-
when you're
living up to his
Tom
name.
Hardy, and
Yeah, exactly.
is he a bookhouse boy or what?
Wally, I don't know.
Okay.
And yes, Nate, Bobby did kill a guy. I'm not sure that he was ever caught and convicted on that, but you'll get more backstory on how he got to where he is now.
Well, let's face it, the guy he killed was not exactly Mr. Clean either.
Exactly. And Mars, yeah, we are going to be doing Blue Velvet. We will do Eraserhead. Definitely Mulholland Drive and possibly Inland Empire.
goodness.
Yeah, this is where they lay on the weird really thick. But that Lewis and Clark reference is not just a throwaway thing. It becomes important in the secret history of Twin Peaks.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, stuck in the middle with you.
The first Caucasians, yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's not actually.
If I was just a little less messed up, I could be Wally. Yeah.
What do you say the relationship was between Harry S. and him?
Brothers.
Brothers.
What, he's got to just quote Brando back at him? Or
Not sure.
No.
he's a fruitcake.
Is he writing the sequel to Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance?
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, you know, Frank here is played by Robert Forrester. And the reason, well, they couldn't get Michael Onkeen back. So they decided to instead bring back Robert Forrester, who was originally up for the role of Harry Truman.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, right?
I love that jacket.
It's... And with the beigeish brown pants, look, it makes him look like a pistachio.
Meanwhile,
yes. I'm just. Oh no.
okay.
It's a nice little chair there, huh?
Yeah, you got that very, 60s, 70s style there. But it's a mismatch of styles.
Sit there, read a copy of the Reader's Digest, huh? I mean, just, I just don't. With a cup of Sanka.
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard not to see you.
Uh-huh. Try and explain to him what happened.
Yeah.
A little gold pill.
Because he is trying to be helpful, about as
Yeah.
far as an evil doppelganger can be helpful.
Yeah.
You do get the idea that of all of the denizens in the Black Lodge, Mike is
the repentant one.
Yeah.
He's like the opposite of Lucifer. Lucifer was an angel who fell from grace. He's like a demon that is trying to pull himself out of perdition.
It's like, oh, a toilet.
I hope he took his pants down first. What the hell?
He had to go really, really,
He
really
hasn't peed
bad.
since he woke up.
It's been 25 years since he's gone pee, literally. Yeah, I know that feeling.
It's like the Adam Sandler skit, "The Longest Pee." Have you ever remember on one of the CDs, "The Longest Pee"?
No, I haven't, but I can imagine.
Yes, it just keeps going on, and then it almost seems like he's done, and then more comes out. It was on one of his CDs.
You remember that face?
Getting flashbacks to the season finale. Of,
Yeah, how's Annie? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine kidney stones. You're right.
You just now noticed?
It's almost like she's like.
Well, you got to get it under his collar first.
Yeah, and what's really going to bake your noodle is if Mulholland Drive is in the same universe as Twin Peaks, is she a doppelganger?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I know, probably not.
hold off until the end, literally the end of the season, to talk about that aspect of it.
Okay.
Sonny Jim.
Oh, hi, kid. Run. Run. No, run. Run like the wind. Escape. Get out. Run. Run for it. No? Okay. He's not listening to me. Okay.
It's in your drool cup.
Kinda.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
You gotta go to school. They're gonna teach you reading, writing, and arithmetic today. Right?
Oh, Lord.
I don't know how it ended up getting on his head, though. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
He's laughing. He's
Oh,
laughing.
sure.
Are those pancakes he's got?
Yeah.
Oh, that's some nice looking pancakes. Some OJ.
Yep.
In his state, he can be the governor of California. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right?
You know, I'm sorry. That's just...
Oh, perfect, Tim. Oh, that's brilliant.
Nice.
Yeah, take a seat, dude.
See, my take on this is the kid is kind of a little bit more keyed in, right? And I think there's a reason for that. Kids are more sensitive to these
Just
weird, things that don't follow convention.
right. He has the tie on his head.
And that's how we end up on adventures, not unlike the Goonies.
Yeah. Yep, smoke them if you got them. Exactly, Tim.
Dude, man, come on. Give me some of them pancakes. You gotta put the syrup on, Dougie.
Unless he wants to eat with his fingers, in which case you don't put syrup on, you just pick them up and eat them.
I think it's...
Well, at least it's real maple syrup.
Yeah, which we discovered we got like 4 jars that size.
Yeah. We don't use it a lot. And I just forget that we have some.
And even though I tell him we got some, he's like, "No, I don't think we do. Let's get some." It's like, don't.
Take the fork.
Do you remember how to use silverware?
These are also known as flapjacks in some parts of the world, right?
Yes. Griddle cakes.
He's the
Hot
Cuisinart
cakes.
Cataract. He'll be fine.
Oh,
They'll figure
Just
it out.
Eat the
Come on.
pancake. Don't eat the fork. Okay. Oh, you liking that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Here's your
Coffee.
coffee.
Look
What
at
is-
it. Look at it. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I am Dougie's coffee.
He knows what that is.
Coffee.
Oh, you know what that is, don't you, Dougie?
Now, Dougie Jones is what we call our energy drinks.
Oh!
Oh, too hot!
Oh, we.
Oh,
It's too
meanwhile-
hot. Is that what it was?
It was too hot, but he's still a very happy camper. 25 years without a cup of coffee. It's like it literally. That's the first time he's initiated something that wasn't like repeating something someone else said.
All I can tell you is if a television show was set in this police precinct, it wouldn't be enjoyable.
Yeah.
I got a bad feeling about this.
She wears that suit very well.
Tammy, oh yeah.
I mean, I don't have a bad feeling about Tammy. I'm all for Tammy right now, but I'm just saying
And so is David Lynch.
well,
Eisegesis and exegesis. Not to be confused with Oh My Holy Jesus.
Is that a blue screen?
probably.
That's not the. Yep.
He'll be all right. Just leave him the
I
picture for a
kept
while.
thinking if they were to do another Mount Rushmore, who the 4 presidents would be.
Oh Lord! Man, oh, jeez!
And they're both like, what the hell's wrong with you?
And the car sick person's just like, just go. It's like, and sometimes it seems like he can hear them perfectly clearly, and then other
Yes.
times he can't.
I think he's just messing with him now.
Well, hold off because they play around with his hearing ability a little bit later in the episode too.
Okay.
Curtis, keep in mind that X-Files was directly influenced by Twin Peaks.
Yeah, but X-Files is sort of its own thing.
It is, and there's what do you call it? They were parallel. There's just some.
There's some parallels, yes.
Yeah.
Well, for instance, on this, the FBI are the good guys. On the X-Files, it's at best they're apathetic to
More than that.
Yeah.
In this, the FBI is the good guys
Yeah.
to an unrealistic extent. They're an idealized FBI.
Idealized FBI, yes. Whereas on the X-Files, no, they're not. At best, you run into bureaucrats that don't like their job, and worse, you run into these very scary individuals on the X-Files. What is that?
Aw.
A dog leg. What? No cheese and
Disgusting.
crackers?
That's disgusting. What is wrong with you, Albert?
For the
Well,
agent, yeah.
people have been asking that for over 25 years.
For the agent that gets car sick, they should chew gum while they're in the front seat.
Yeah.
That would help.
I don't know if you caught this or not, but they're still they're analyzing his vomit. Remember that smelled so bad in the car?
Yeah, what was in it?
They haven't said yet.
Yeah, that's what you think.
Well, I'm sure the prints match. Right?
Yes. At least I think so. Must do. I mean, the FBI checks that from time to time.
Oh, this is not Dale.
Right, exactly.
Oh. 25 years.
Is this him trying to act like Dale?
Kind of, yeah.
He doesn't even sound like Cooper.
Right.
I
Tim
mean,
says, Tim says if you play the scene backwards, you hear Paul is dead, man, miss him, miss him.
funny.
Okay, why was he arrested? He had a car accident.
Yeah, he did, but he's been missing for a long time, and he's implicated in several murders.
It's interesting. If his tempo was different, like if he was talking normal, he would almost sound like Cooper.
Yeah,
But it's just the way he's saying these words. It doesn't sound right.
it definitely sounds like his
Yeah.
it's a normal track that's been slowed down. So whereas we've seen previously, the Black Lodge denizens, filmed phonetically backwards and then they flip the footage. With him, they've taken the footage and slowed it down.
Yeah. This does not sound weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you need to be debriefed, we'll start talking then.
Right. But the implication is that
He wants to get him alone.
yeah. I can't speak when I'm being recorded, through a device with all of these witnesses. Cute, Tim, exactly.
So weird.
Yeah, private phone call, and I expect to hear about it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's an even longer story.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Because
oh, okay.
I'm feeling better now.
Shake it, don't break it, honey.
Right.
Damn. Good.
And I can understand her being pissed because it's like, you told me to wear a wire, now I can't be in on your private conversation because I'm wearing a wire.
Yeah.
He's unwell.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yes. If Albert goes to the bathroom, he's Prince Albert in the can. Yeah. Their man was Hunter Biden, Tim says.
Funny. So Albert's in trouble now, right?
Kinda. It was a mistake.
He thought he could trust Cooper, I guess.
He thought he could trust Jeffries,
Jeffries,
too.
yeah, Jeffries, yeah.
And he only has Jeffrey's word that Cooper needed this information.
True.
Yeah, we're getting some castle intrigue here. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ow. Well, turn it down, man.
No, he wants to have a quiet conversation that can't be overheard. That's why he's doing it this way.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
That's the first. That's
Yeah. Yeah. When it starts making sense, it gets a little creepy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, suddenly we're trapped in a Fincher movie.
It doesn't get any bluer. And no, it's not the Roadhouse. That would be the implication, but no, that's not the case here.
You know, I was thinking today that Karate Kid Part 2 would have went a lot different if what was it? Jack Dalton from Roadhouse. That's his name.
Oh
Was in the
yeah.
movie. If he was in
Yeah.
the movie, if he said no, Daniel said my friend Dalton here is going to come with me to
Exactly.
Okay, how would that have gone? That would have gone a lot differently, wouldn't it?
So just for soundtrack purposes, this is a song called Lark. It's by Heather D'Angelo, Erica Foster, and Annie Hart. Those are the three performing it.
Oh, the boy was the kid from Looper. Okay.
Nate, you're crazy.
She's no Julie Cruz.
Well, no, none of them are, but they do what they can. Again, I love this soundtrack. It really is good.
Yeah.
And Cosme held up for us this time around. We made it. Yes, so Dale gets his first cup of coffee and his first pee in 25 years. Both a great relief to him.
Funny, I get the relief.
Play Freebird. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's other than the outlying mystery that, obviously this is they still consider all this to be a Blue Rose thing. All of this Philip Jeffries stuff has its roots, for us anyway, with Fire Walk With Me. We have a lot to fill in there yet. We still have to understand what's going on with Philip Jeffries. At least we know what's going on with Good Dale and Bad Dale and Bob. We know, though no one else within the show knows, outside of the lodges.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
When Dougie Jones, Dale, was looking in the corner talking to the man with one arm,
Yes.
the man with one arm says, one of you has to die. Dougie or who has to die?
The Evil Dale.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. They should not both be able to be here at the same time. And this is directly affecting his ability to fully form within this world. Now, keep in mind, what I'm saying may sound authoritative, and I'm saying it emphatically, but I really am filling in blanks and more hypothesizing my own personal theories. I am entirely open to somebody suggesting another explanation for what's going on. But it seems to me to be implied, and that's kind of my read on it. So you see, as you're going through Dougie Jones's life, from this perspective, we're kind of in the same situation Dale is. He doesn't know any more about Dougie Jones than we do. So we're kind of finding it out together. We're finding out, first we knew that he was an overweight, unkempt guy who, visited prostitutes, right? And someone was trying to kill him. Now we find out that he's got a beautiful wife, a child, kind of what, most of us would be considered a stereotypical idyllic life, but he's obviously having problems because he's stepping out on her. She's very suspicious of him. I think she has good reason to be, right? Now we find out that they were thousands of dollars in debt. Now
I'm wondering if there was enough money in that sack to not only cover their debt, but still have some left over for whatever they may need.
Yeah. So, a good point. And those we'll get answers to those questions going forward. We'll definitely find out more about Dougie Jones's home life. But I think you guys are seeing. I think if I didn't say it outright, I alluded to this last week that Dougie Jones is a construct. He is a artificial Cooper, right? Specifically created by the Evil Dale to fulfill or try to fulfill the machinations that are required for him to allow to stay here. Welcome, Keely Chow. Good to see you.
All right.
But now that construct, that tulpa that was Dougie Jones, was unmade. So the Dougie Jones that was married to this beautiful blonde who had a child and whatnot no longer physically exists. Really, Dale is, doing the twin brother thing, filling in for, somebody unknowingly. Nobody knows that this isn't really Dougie Jones, that it's just a twin, I promise you that whole issue will have resolution. That you might consider that a minor spoiler, but it was one of the most frustrating things on the first watch through. When is this going to resolve? And will it resolve? Yes, it basically does resolve in a way that also gives you more insight to the making of a tulpa and so forth. And again, I will reserve the talk about tulpas, the lore, the mythology behind tulpas and doppelgangers until we've finished this up. Maybe I'll even do a standalone video about that. Let's see. We get introduced to Frank Truman, which of course is Harry's brother. I already, explained why, why he's here and why they chose the actor they did. I have no insight as to why Michael Onkeen didn't return. I never really looked that much into it. If anybody knows if it's anything more than he just didn't want to, I actually don't even know if Michael Onkeen is still acting, if he's done anything recently. Again, I feel that Andy and especially Lucy are portraying in caricature, in that very Lynchian way, this aspect of people that live in. Okay, Netter.
He retired from acting in 2011 and didn't return for the revival of Twin Peaks, which aired in 2017. Despite initial reports in 2015 that he was excited to return to the show, Robert Forster played the role of Harry's previously unseen brother, Frank Truman, with Harry just being referenced a few times.
Yeah. So it sounds, who knows what was going on, because he does, it does sound like he was up for returning and was excited about it, and then it didn't happen for whatever reason. I'm guessing something had to do with his private life or whatever. That's, I understand. What was I going to say? Dale. Oh yeah. And Andy and Lucy experiencing this shift in technology and whatnot. It's kind of, I see it directly paralleling something we talked about when we were looking at the first two seasons. Twin Peaks seems to exist in a timeless place, right? It's got elements of the 40s and 50s, in certain ways, but with modern technology, almost a retrofuturism. It's not unbelievable because, where they are in a more rural setting. People don't usually update the jukebox in the diner, and as long as it's working, we just keep going. So you find these towns all over the country that it's like stepping into a time machine and going back to the 50s, and you might see an old cigarette machine with the pull handles and things like that. Maybe in disrepair, they may not even be using it, but they still have them. Orville Nation, thank you so much. You are, PJ, you are a wonderful, wonderful supporter. Did anyone notice that the Christmas photo had 3, maybe it's the Wally head with the hat superimposed on the kid's head? Or at least that's what I said. Yeah, no, it's almost certainly a doctored photo, I I don't want to speculate too much on that tiny little rabbit hole, because they very easily could have staged a picture with a child actor. You know, they may have intentionally made it doctored for symbolic reasons. You know, but that could lead us on theories that might be more than I wanted to get into it right now. But yes, that's an excellent point. It also looked like, because this would obviously been a number of years back, it looked like Lucy had dark hair for a while, too, which is possible. It happens. But Twin Peaks in this season, and we're going to see this more when we return to Twin Peaks in setting, is beginning to be affected by the outside world. And as you've noticed, the past 4 episodes, a lot of it is taking place outside of Twin Peaks. So we are seeing this temporal shift. And I think that the almost absurdist way that Andy and Lucy are responding to, you know, for example, Frank on the mobile, is the culture shock of this shift for these timeless people that are what make up Twin Peaks. Again, all of this is Troy's theory. This is my take on it. Some of this is even me thinking out loud. I am totally open to other theories, disagreements, other perspectives. More so than I am about most things. I realize this is very abstract. So getting territorial about theories here is stupid and ridiculous. And I have changed my theories over the past 25 years about Twin Peaks almost every time I watch a new show or, you know, rewatch a show or whatever.
Take a stand.
Yeah, well, you take a stand and then the next episode completely destroys it. I've learned that many, many times. So, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. But, let's see. What else? So, I guess the thing that I should really talk about most, because I have been setting it up for a while now, Bobby Briggs. Bobby Briggs has really turned his life around. He took that conversation he had with his father at the Double R, where Garland was talking about this dream he had about him and laying out this great future that he saw for his son. I said, pay attention to the acting here and what might be going on behind Bobby's eyes there. It looks like he's in tears, or he's about to burst into tears, because he knows what a screw up he is. He knows the bad decisions he's been making. He's living that bad boy life, and there's a little kernel in him telling him this is wrong, don't do this. And instead of getting the typical lecture from his father is just wiping all of that away and saying, this is what I see for my son in the future. This is what I believe you are capable of. And that's a gut punch, right? It's one thing if your parents are lecturing you and screaming at you and, even getting derogatory because you're such a screw up. And this is pure grace that he gets from his father in that moment, right? Which is incredibly convicting. And I kind of pointed this out. You see in his relationship with Shelley, which had been predicated on just thinking with little Bobby, right? Becomes something far more. It becomes, he starts to take responsibility for her. It's like, I'm not just having an affair with this girl. I am going to take care of her because she's in an abusive relationship, which she shouldn't be. Yeah, it's not cool to be, sleeping with a married woman, but it is cool to help that married woman get out of that relationship that is abusive to almost to the point of being deadly, right?
Yes.
And he's got some false starts, right? They're trying to pull a little bit of an insurance scam, and so forth. But man, that's far and away better than where he was with Laura in the drugs and, getting into a gunfight with a drug dealer and that kind of stuff, right? So,
plus all the murder.
Right, exactly. Well,
or accidental deaths, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue it's self-defense, but you can't claim self-defense when it's in the commission of a murder. In the commission of another crime. They were buying and selling drugs, so any, in quotes, self-defense would be charged probably with manslaughter. It would probably they initially charge you with murder, but it would probably end up becoming a manslaughter sentence if. Troy, are you Bobby's attorney? I kind of am standing up for him a little bit, aren't I? But I kind of front loaded with that in season 1 when he has that conversation with his father. And so now we jump ahead. We haven't seen a lot of that in between. So you have to infer the past 25 years based on where he is now. He's working at the sheriff's department. He's obviously got a good relationship with Frank. Respectful, right? So we know he's not just some dirty cop or something like that.
Right.
And that emotion when he sees all the artifacts of the Laura Palmer case laid out. He is absolutely in tears. And it's not ridiculously so. It is tempting. It borders on being a little ridiculous. But he's got that line where he's just like, man, this just brings back memories, right? Which is exactly the way someone would naturally react to this kind of situation. And he's thinking back on all of that time with Laura, all the things he did, that he probably still bears some guilt about. He's got that line at Laura's funeral where he says, "You want to know who killed Laura Palmer? We all did." I think he believed that. Oh, he certainly did at the time. And I think he still carries that with him. I think that's a part of his journey starting to change in a very positive direction. And he will... this is a spoiler, but you should not be too shocked by this, and it doesn't hurt anything. He becomes very important in the investigation as we go forward. In a lot of ways, he ends up being you saw a little bit of it here. Do you know, because he fills in what happened to his father, having Cooper being the last person, and we know it must have been the evil Cooper, was the last one to have seen Garland before he died. Boomer, you made a point, he died in a fire, so maybe you don't have a body, right? So you don't know if he actually died then or not.
Or it would at least get rid of the foul play, maybe,
right.
Proof, right? Yeah, so yeah.
Right.
And
I don't think it's the conversation he had with his dad that changed him. I think it was his father's death that was the catalyst for his change. Well, the conversation with his dad is certainly the starting point. Because
actually, I just speculated that it actually goes before that to what he himself said at Laura's funeral. But yes, I think that gets him thinking about getting off of a certain path. And I think that conversation with his dad absolutely caused him to take the first step off that path. Yeah. It's all a journey. Yeah, there's no one thing that you should be able to point to. But that is an excellent point.
There is the whole, and I keep going back to this because I always wondered why Bobby. And that was in the episode where we lose Madeline when she's killed by Leland.
Right.
And you have that whole cutting back and forth between that and the Roadhouse. Donna's freaking out.
Yeah.
Bobby's getting the idea something's up. How did he know? That's when you tap into what I refer to as when characters start to go into Jedi mode.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
show's version of it, where they are in tune with. There is, all right. Look, we know there is some kind of psychic energy going on in the woods.
Something otherworldly, something,
There's something
supernatural. Yeah.
otherworldly. You know, what that I refer to as the Jedi powers, because, you know, that's
Yeah,
my
and
touchstone.
there's certain ones
But-
that you can point to that are clearly, force
But-
sensitive, so to speak. Margaret Lanterman
Bobby,
and so forth.
Margaret
Yeah.
definitely, Hawk definitely, Cooper for sure. But there is that.
And Laura and her mother.
Oh, for sure. But
Leland, although that is the in for the dark side, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh, thank you, Curtis. You
Yes,
are
thank you, Curtis.
wonderful.
and then of course that leads back to the fact that, remember, who was the original choice to direct Return of the Jedi?
Yes, exactly.
And that was David Lynch. Yeah.
right.
So it does everything. Everything connects. That is what is so cool about this show. Everything connects. Does it all make sense? No, it doesn't all make sense. It's not all straight line. You know, I don't expect to have everything figured out by the end of this season. I have surrendered that. I know.
Yeah.
But going back to Bobby for a minute, I always wondered in that scene, why him? Why
Yeah.
is he suddenly, and then it hit me. You're learning, kid.
Exactly.
You know, and
It's a legacy thing because in a lot
It
of
is.
ways he is going to take over for his father. Now I don't mean that terribly literally. I mean that very figuratively. You will see that throughout this season. You just saw it tonight. You know, he gives you the background on what happened to his father, and you're going to get more of that. We all know that Garland was definitely involved in the Project Blue Book, which of course becomes the Blue Rose Project. He was doing his own investigation, and I don't believe that at this point Bobby is really in connection with that. But as this investigation goes, he has to draw on memories of things about his dad. So this character is acting as the surrogate for a character that obviously the actor has passed. And well, actually the character has too, as we've been told in this episode. Here's my theory. Twin Peaks is built in the ancient ley line, and they are interdimensional forces interacting in this small, strange hamlet. That may be oversimplifying it, but I think that's kind of spot on, Nate. I think it may be more abstract than that, but I think that's as good an interpretation as any. It certainly does seem to be a theory. If you were an FBI agent in this world working on the Blue Rose Project, you would see plenty of reason to buy into that. Look, especially starting with this season, there were allusions to a lot of this stuff before this, but once we get to the return and the secret history of Twin Peaks and the final dossier, there's a lot of Mark Frost in this. I'll put it that way. A lot of X-Files type stuff. A lot of the lone gunman kind of stuff. If you are into conspiracy theories, if you enjoy the Y-Files, a lot of... I could probably put together a playlist of Y-Files episodes for you to go and watch that offer background theories related to a lot of the things going on in Twin Peaks. And I'll try to help you out with a lot of that going forward. But yeah, I think you're definitely onto something there, Nate.
So,
Curtis, watch. Yeah, why am I not surprised that you're a Y-Files fan? Yeah, exactly.
so deleted scenes. Were you surprised to see Naomi Watts?
I mean, I knew she was coming up. I just didn't know which episode it was going to be in. So,
yeah.
But glad
that's
to
why
see
I
her.
was going to say there's someone you mentioned is going to be in this episode. That was the one.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that Chamberlain one, it kind of hit you all completely from left field.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere because you don't see him as much anymore. I think the last time I remember seeing him in anything was I think he did show up in the Nip Tuck episode.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think he did, yeah. It being super freaky, just like everybody else on that damn show, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But
freaky in a different way from this show.
no, he's. Is he in any other episode other than this one, or was that it? Or
I don't really remember. A lot of these guest appearances were just one shot, almost cameos.
because I mean they're bringing some pretty major people who could star in something like this to like one line and they're gone. You know.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm busy going, hey, that's they're gone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, usually it's more like, hey, was that? You know.
Yeah, that too.
But
so yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. A lot of the guest appearances are like, you know, oh my gosh, you know.
Why weren't you here before? You know?
Yeah, well, there's one coming up in part 11 that it's very brief, and this particular celebrity doesn't really look like them, like you would remember that person looking. So it's like I may have to wait until that scene comes and passes, and then say, "Did you recognize that person?" I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Kind of like when Barbara Steele shows up in Lost River.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that? Oh, and then you're like,
yeah, exactly.
You realize,
exactly.
Holy smokes!
Sometimes it was really fun to watch things with my mom and grandmother because they would recognize someone and go, "Hey, that's so and so from such and such and whatnot." And oftentimes it wasn't until years later that I would get to know who that person was, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I get it now." And actually, that's another thing that Twin Peaks kind of gets right. That slice of life where you're aware of things as a kid, you don't get them, and then later on something happens and it all kind of falls into place and you understand it suddenly. We've all had experiences like that, and if you haven't yet, you're too young. You hadn't had a chance yet. But it happens to all of us, and you see that in very interesting ways with the narrative in Twin Peaks. Lynch and Frost have a great way of playing with a lot of that kind of stuff. So, have I missed anything? Any questions about the episode? Probably a lot that I can't answer, but you know, something specific maybe that I could.
Well, we finally saw Weird Cooper meeting Gordon, so that was interesting.
Yeah, and that we were talking about, you know, the oddness of his speech pattern. And from a technical standpoint, obviously it's just, you know, his footage just slowed down, right? Which gives him that demonic kind of voice. I think that's what they were going for. Why suddenly, right? Well, maybe to some degree, I feel like he was speaking in a lower register than he normally does in all the other scenes that we saw him in. But now it's almost like, despite the fact that he's clearly trying to pretend to be the real Dale, there's also that element of the devil who, is sitting there without his mask and taunting, So, yeah, what his motivations are, not too clear. I am going to say that when it comes to Evil Dale, I would almost have to go chaotic evil. He's not the lawful evil that you would really be afraid of an evil Dale Cooper being. A Moriarty type. He's more Moriarty with a Joker riding his back.
Yeah, because he is not. The thing you have to remember is that he is not only this evil Moriarty version of Cooper. He is also Bob.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
And then you have this weird switch that has taken place between the good Dale, as Annie would call him, and Dougie. And then here is my question, and you don't necessarily have to answer this now, because I'm sure it's going to be some kind of spoiler. Is who the hell is Dougie?
Yeah, you'll get.
That's when it goes to the Lost Highway territory for me.
Yeah, it'll that, believe it or not, will actually make more sense as we get to the end. In fact, the pacing is, like everything else about this show, strange. A lot of things seem to drag out, and then a lot happens in the last episode, almost like to the point your head's spinning. But yes, you will get a good deal of who Dougie is, and more importantly, why Dougie was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Cooper meat suit. Yeah, I mean that's actually not far from wrong there, Nate. Yeah. But what's really important is we're seeing Dougie, last episode we saw Dougie basically at the end of his life, right? As he was unmade. So we make certain inferences about where he came from and whatnot, but we don't know how long Dougie as an entity, as somebody named Dougie Jones, has existed, and how much of his history there was before what we saw. So, thank you again, Curtis Selby.
Did you see you had a sticker from Orville Nation?
Yes, I did.
We did.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't hear you,
Stickers
sir.
are nice.
But there you go. Yeah. So yeah, you will get more of explanation of Dougie Jones. And I had actually kind of forgotten that part of the equation. Bob being a part of Evil Dale is another thing that unbalances the whole situation, right? We know that at base value, for good Dale to leave the lodge, the bad Dale is supposed to go back in. But there's all kinds of confounding factors. You've got a tulpa construct of Cooper existing in the world. You've got Bob, riding shotgun within Evil Dale. These are all elements that throw that balance off. And I think that's manifest in the fact that, there you go, Clue Channel. What was I saying? It all kind of, we see it in a tactile way with the way Dale is struggling with his memory and kind of what is the term for this? He's kind of in a fugue state, I think is the best way to put it.
Right.
And like, there's clearly something going on behind his eyes, but he's like kind of trapped in a malaise inside his head, and he can't. And every now and again, something will trigger him, like looking into the mirror, right? You know, and we joked, you know, how's Annie, but maybe that's kind of echoing in his head a little bit. And you know, the coffee clearly hit a nerve, right?
Yes.
Someone who has been, you know, this detached from reality. Coffee, love it. This is wonderful. Try to chug it down. Oh, it's too hot. But man, coffee. So what's the first thing he says? The first word he says that wasn't a repeat of something someone had said to him. He goes, "Hi." It's like, I'm here. You know, it doesn't stay with him. He doesn't stay cognizant long, but for now, you know, he had a moment of lucidity, so to speak.
Okay, so we have the final scene between Gordon and Albert.
Yeah.
And well, kind of turns into a David Fincher movie for a few minutes.
Yes.
And obviously, I don't want answers right now, but I'm getting the idea that we're going to get a major piece of the puzzle here.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
just
how
waiting
is
for that.
Jeffries connected? Who is the woman they're going to go to see? Is it Annie? Is it somebody else? I don't want to know. I want to be surprised.
I'm just waiting.
That's what I'm fascinated by right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just waiting for Dougie to run into a piece of cherry pie.
Oh yeah.
That'll break the universe.
The pie is coming too. Welcome, Davina Duckworth.
Huh.
Prepare to be frustrated. Yeah, but honestly, frustrated in a good way. I think.
I'm not so far though. Is the thing.
Yeah.
This is my favorite episode of the season so far since the first one. So yeah, I'm digging it. You're
going to see this going back and forth. You're going to see, and I'm going to fall back into episodic TV tropes here just to communicate. We're focusing on a plot here in this episode. We'll go back to Twin Peaks and get some more B plots. We'll pick up again with, a little bit more about the people that we've seen that we need to find out what's happened to them in all this time. We will get more backstory of people we haven't seen yet. There's a bunch of people that you might be waiting on and saying what happened to and what happened to and what happened to, and we'll be getting more and more of that going forward. I mean, honestly, what Davina said, and correct my pronunciation if I'm saying it wrong. I don't like mispronouncing people's names. I bought Twin Peaks: The Return in disc form, but I've only watched it once. Yeah. I've watched it twice now. This is my third time through, so I'm not as well versed as I am on the previous two seasons in Fire Walk with Me. But that's partly why we're doing this too, refreshing the memories and working through things for people that have seen it before, giving someone like Deleted Scenes here a chance to see it for the first time. Kind of absorb it as we go. Mars is in the same situation. It's a bit painful to watch. It's hard to watch your favorite actors getting old. That is a great point.
Yeah, I mean,
you even heard Netter and her reaction to Bobby Briggs. Right? Wait, is that Bobby Briggs? Yeah, he's all gray now, right?
You know, I mean, it's not so much getting older is we are seeing actors who passed away between the time they
Yes.
and the show actually aired. So it is kind of like you're watching Ghosts a little bit.
And you're also seeing people that knew that they wouldn't be around much longer, right? With Margaret Lanterman filming her scenes with her oxygen tank, both the character and the actress knew I won't be around much longer. And I don't know if you caught it.
Go ahead.
Huh? I was going to say, I don't know if you caught it in tonight's episode, but in the conversation with Albert. Albert, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. That was clearly a reference to the actor's health.
Yeah, because he was in NCIS Los Angeles as well. And that's how his character passed away in that show. And I didn't realize at first he was sick. I thought they were just doing a storyline. I'm like, because I always thought he was a really good actor,
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, they better remember this at any time,
Yeah.
Because I didn't know he was. I not only didn't know he was ill, I didn't know he was that far along.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if anything, his acting is to downplay his sickness and make you not realize how sick he is,
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. Rest in peace, Miguel Ferrer. Exactly. The way these episodes are broken up, you don't see it on every episode, but the way it was originally released, part 3 was dedicated to Catherine Coulson, and this episode was dedicated to Miguel Ferrer. But that they're both put into the credits for part 3. Yeah, we'll get to Sherilyn Fenn's character. Obviously, you had to know that she'd be coming back again.
Because without anybody in the chat who's seen this already going into spoilers, I'm very concerned about what happened to Audrey in the intervening years, because she's in some pretty dire straits when we last see her in season 2.
Yep.
And we know everybody did not survive that.
True.
But there is an out with her character where he's like, okay, there's a way she could possibly have survived that. Obviously she has, because she's in this show. But I'm kind of curious to see.
Well, I mean, unless they bring her back in the way that they brought back Phoebe Augustine or something like that,
Audrey is a Force ghost. Why not?
Exactly.
Which, hey, again, I'm not ruling that out.
I would take that joke back and temper it, but honestly, there's some interpretations that could be made when you get there, so it's kind of pointless for me to get too far into it right now. But I will say this: Sherilyn Fenn, sweet woman. Netta and I met on a number of occasions, and I mean, if you want to keep up with her, follow her on Instagram. That's where she seems to do the most posting on a regular basis. I think Curtis Selby would probably appreciate a lot of her posts. She's moderately, I'm going to say moderately political in a very unoffensive way. But I think her political leanings, I think, would probably appeal to a lot of the people here. I'm thinking specifically Curtis Selby, even you, Deleted Scenes. I think you'd look and be a little surprised and go, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Because I kind of get worried about celebrities in politics now, and it's just, oh God, either
it's
side.
very clear.
Shut
It's very, it's very clear that she's not
Yeah.
out to, upset anybody.
He's not a whack job like some of these other ones, I guess.
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you'd find her very middle of the road. Okay, very very. I'd almost say populist. Obviously, with left leaning. Okay, you know. I would guess based on the things I've seen her post, maybe a classical liberal, right?
Yeah.
But in no way have I ever seen her say anything that I could, even in my most sensitive time, consider to be in any way offensive to any side of politics. Now, maybe don't read too deep into some of the comments on her posts, but because some of the people that follow her are I don't engage with them, but yeah. So I prefer to think that Audrey is going to the White Lodge. Let's not talk about it too much, because this is where some of the frustration comes in that you were talking about before, because it's like
Well, this is
a lot of interpretation to be made
making
here.
A point here is there is a redemptive power despite all of the darkness in the show.
Yeah.
I agree with that absolutely.
It is the most.
Again,
I think it's the most.
Going back to Bobby.
Yeah, that's the most obvious and
completely
refreshing.
He is entirely a redemption arc.
But on a lesser scale, you see it with minor spoiler here, but you'll be getting more from Dr. Jacoby.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see more from Nadine and Big Ed and Norma. Not that they needed a great deal of redemption, right?
No.
But resolution of their circumstances in a positive way. I'd even say, to a certain degree, I'd use the phrase healing. There's a lot of healing that goes on there. So there is some great positives. And interestingly, the deaths that you see are either tragic in only that they're gone, right? Like, Margaret Lanterman.
Right.
But it's a natural thing. There's nothing evil going on there. It's just the natural course of life. I think she even has a phrase that kind of, implies that natural cycle of things, right? But then there are some deaths that you start to go, maybe there's also some influence from the dark nature, right? Garland was clearly, maybe not so clearly, but I believe targeted. It's like you're doing too much good, you're learning too much, you need to be stopped. So there's still that element going on too.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're going to have a couple of stick the dagger in the heart and break it off moments before this is over, and I was kind of expecting that, but going back to what Davina says, and this is part of my theory for the ending, redemptive power despite the darkness. And I think we're going to find out I'm not entirely wrong. I'm probably not going to be entirely right. Like I said, there are things that I know I'm probably misinterpreting because I don't have all the information.
It's sad because I want to say yes and no, but I can't really elaborate.
There's a specific way I think it's going to end.
Yeah.
And and in the end, to me, the only way it logically could end.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I am leaving out. I don't know how they're going to get there, because there's a lot.
It's a fun ride. It's a fun ride.
There are some puzzle pieces that are going to have to fall into specific places for my theory to work.
Yep.
So far, we're on track.
Yep.
But
And I think it's
you know,
I think it's too early to start making predictions, but I'll be honest with you, where I am in this, having seen all the way through the season and had some time since, part of me wants another season or something. Part of me thinks they should leave it alone, and I think I'd be happy either way.
We get introduced to new characters on the show, though, that I felt,
Oh, yeah.
they could have more.
yeah, but the problem, I mean, it's not. I'm more comfortable with the OG characters, and I'm going to explain why. I am currently working in a job that I worked before, but then I was gone for a couple of years. And I came back.
Yeah.
And some of the people that I worked with before are still there, but then they're also newer people. I don't trust the new people, and it's not their fault. And I'm feeling kind of the same way watching this. I do not trust these new characters because you're going to get the OG characters killed.
Yeah.
And that's that feeling of dread I have in the back of my mind. It's like these new people are going to get the OGs killed, which is why every time a new character shows up, I want them to leave. Chad, who is Chad? Get the fuck out of here! I don't know you. You're going to get Bobby killed. You're going to get Andy killed. Get out.
He has a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So what?
Well, I don't know. It's just kind of like Brando. I was looking at
No, I'm not talking about Wally. I'm talking about the new deputy, the Chris Pratt looking guy.
Oh,
him. Yeah, he's a much bigger character going forward. Yeah, he's going to have more.
We also have Robert Forster there, though.
Well, no, I don't mind. Well, he's almost like he's above all that because he's Robert Forster. Because medium cool alligator Jackie Brown. I know this guy. I'm not worried. But I'm not worried about him playing a character who's going to screw up the soup.
Yeah.
And he's Truman's brother. Obviously an older brother. So okay, he's a Truman. He's not going to rattle. He was probably a bookhouse boy at one point. Might still be. And hopefully we'll get back to them at some point because I dug those guys. But I don't know. I want the new people to leave. No, you stand in the corner and you shut up. Because
So
you make me
mean.
nervous. I know. But it is what it is. Mars is saying, I love another season, but the ending was great. Yeah. We got a sequel, not necessarily the one everyone expected or want. Yeah, this is the sequel. Yeah.
Well, I would say if anyone who's keyed into David Lynch kind of did expect this. No one is really surprised. You don't get all your answers. You get a lot more questions. That's David Lynch, and we expected that.
He's bringing the show back to what he wanted it. I think this is probably closer to his original vision than the first two seasons were, because you don't have the network wonks on your back.
Right.
Being on a cable network, you're going to get more leeway.
And I do feel like there is okay, so we've talked about this with Fire Walk With Me. The opening scene with the destruction of the TV is him expressing his frustration with the television medium. I feel like the opposite with this. I feel like now he's doing a project for himself and for the fans, He's having a little bit of fun with it, doing the things he always wanted to do. There's an element of fun there, an element of not taking it too seriously. And then you got Mark Frost in there grounding him, saying, well, we still got to tell a story, so let's make sure, we know what we want to get across and this and that.
Good night, Enigma.
Yep, take care.
Okay. Yeah, we're 2 hours and 20 minutes in already, so I think it's a good a place.
2 hours and 20 minutes on a 1 hour episode.
You get us started on the show, man. And
Well, this is why we informally say we're not only redoing a rewatch, but we're doing a deep dive too.
Oh yeah. Don't forget Mulholland Drive was supposed to be a show too. It made a great movie in the end. Yeah.
We will definitely be talking about that, especially when we get around to. Part of me is inclined to, because that is a feature length film. We hadn't really talked about this, but I was thinking we might do a watch party of it one week, and then do the deep dive the following week.
Mm.
Just a thought, I mean, we got time to think it through. One little bit of trivia, those of you that own Mulholland Drive on DVD will notice that there are no chapter stops. You must watch it beginning to end straight through. Fast forward and rewind.
Don't like it.
Fast forward and rewind the way you would with a VHS tape.
So, or that I'll just go on YouTube and watch the scenes I want to watch. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no! He had to go. No,
I'm sorry. I don't agree with it. I like chapter stops. I'm sorry.
No, I think there was a reason. David Lynch said there was a reason he did that. He wanted it to be watched the way it was intended to be watched. And I think he knew that there'd be people like us that would go, I just want to revisit that one scene again.
Yeah.
Well,
on a loop for 10 minutes.
I mean, I get what he's saying, but trust that your people buying your movie will watch it from front to end, and maybe every so often, maybe just go to a clip. And I know he probably thinks you have to watch it front to end every time, but, this was one of the big draws of DVD to begin with, was the fact that you got to go where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Interesting entertainment inspires interesting conversations, indeed. And it took me a couple of hours to watch Inland Empire. Yeah, I have not watched that straight through yet. I've seen maybe 5 or 10 minutes out of it, and it was mostly the rabbit stuff, and I'm like,
oh,
what the hell is this?
sounds interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how or if it Inland Empire fits into this sort of overarching, because to me, and again I could be totally wrong, I don't think that everything that David Lynch does is connected. I don't think they're all a shared universe. I mean, obviously Mulholland Drive is, because he's already said it is. I don't know what the status is when it comes to Inland Empire, if it fits in or not. It seems like certainly pieces of it could. Blue Velvet, kind of on the fringe of that. I don't see Eraserhead being the same universe. I don't see Wild at Heart being in the same universe. But who knows? I could be wrong. I don't think everything has to be a shared universe all the time.
I do feel that, and I've talked about us doing an Eraserhead rewatch, maybe even a Wild at Heart rewatch.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than, even if they're not literally part of the same, narrative universe, I think the imagery and the comparisons that you can make tell you something about Twin Peaks. Understanding Lynch helps you understand Twin Peaks.
Davina, Lost Highway is the one that throws me because I'm not sure I get it.
I remember in a film class once, and the ending happens with Bill Pullman's head getting all weird, and then some guy in the back, and then the credits start rolling, and some guy in the back of the class said, "You got to be shitting me." That's what he said. That was his reaction to that movie.
Yeah.
Now, Straight Story is different, John, because Straight Story was a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just that was a biography, technically. This guy traveling cross country on a tractor to go see his brother. Very simple, very well done, and like the one. It's kind of like the one like PG rated David Lynch movie. It might even be G, because I don't think there's really anything in it. But that was what was so weird. Was because you not only had the Straight Story come out that year, you also had a movie called The Winslow Boy, which is based on a stage play. I think it's a remake, and that was a David Mamet film, and he's known for some pretty hardcore dramatic content as well. And then he turns around and does this PG rated movie, or might have even been G, that one too, about, this kid, at this boarding school gets accused of cheating, and it's like you had these two, directors going outside of their normal genres. But yeah, no, Straight Story is definitely separate from the rest. Tonally, not necessarily in the way that it's put together, because it is very long takes throughout that movie. But what if all of David Lynch's movies are connected but are on different sides of the veil? Okay, but to me, Straight Story is always separate because, like I said, that was based on an actual real life story. So, but yeah, I mean, the rest of them have at it. If anyone, when we get the Lost Highway, maybe somebody else can explain it to me. I don't know.
We'll take a stab at it together. We'll take a stab at it.
Yeah.
But
why is Robert Blake in two places at once?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, I don't think Robert Blake got it. Because
no, he absolutely didn't.
I remember an interview with him where he said to David Lynch, "Look, if I am going away from what you want, let me know."
Yeah.
I don't get it. If I'm not giving you what you want, just bring me back in. But he's creepy as hell in that movie.
Oh, he is. He absolutely is.
And in the end, I'm not sure if he's the good guy or the bad guy, but, Anyway. I've been wanting to Criterion Lost Highway 4K since I first heard. Yeah, it might be when I should maybe consider picking up and revisiting.
But I'm going to say this. After talking to Charlotte Stewart and Cheryl Lee, I think those are the two that stand out, who have specifically said to me directly that they didn't always get what David was getting at, and they just did the best they could. I think that Charlotte Stewart really took it to a higher level by, like I said, talking out with her co-stars, about their family life and their backstories, and Bobby growing up and all this. She had all this stuff in her head, and she did share a lot of that with David. So there's no doubt that he was influenced by them, thinking through, fleshing out their characters. But all the crazy supernatural stuff, yeah, they basically said they were taking his direction, scene by scene.
Attempting to you see, that's what's the thing. It's interesting entertainment leads to interesting conversation, as Nate said in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go once around the horn. Boomer, what do you have coming up?
This Friday I will be on a special stream with Big Al. Big Al Presents. We're going to be doing the first 2 episodes of season 2 of Robin of Sherwood. We'll be doing a rewatch of those, and then I will be on Friday evening. I will be on with Troy Pacelli and you yourself to talk about the first 3 episodes of season 2 of Outer Range. So it's a Friday of season 2s for me. So
there you go.
Okay. And then of course Sunday I'll be on with Geeky Geezers with Troy Pacelli and that's usually after your unscripted show. Yes.
Indeed. Never.
I have coming up on Thursday Things, my special guest will be Appian. So just make sure you stay tuned and get to know Appian along with me.
If you could join us in the chat, Age of Boomer, you might be interested. This guy's a gamer.
All right, I'll check it out if I have time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting different genres. The wrong word to use here.
Aspects of geekdom,
yes,
yeah.
Of different YouTubers on my channel. So it's not just, I grew a channel because I wanted something to do with my life, or I grew a channel because, I want to talk about my hobbies or something like that. I'm trying to just do everything.
Expand our horizons.
That's the words. Thank you. So gaming, drawing, I've had authors on, I've had writers, producers, directors on. So I'm trying to do the full gambit of as much as I can, so we learn more about them, and you might find out something that's a little bit more new to you that's like, hey, I want to check that out. So yeah.
And what about Saturday?
Saturday we are over on Big Al's channel where we'll be watching, do you remember?
One Crazy Summer with it's John Cusack month. His co-star is Demi Moore.
So that's what we're doing on Saturday. And of course I'm co-hosting on various streams. So Friday night Last Call with Troy. Monday night the movies with Troy. Next week here. Tuesday Sparkwood and 21. I'm everywhere now too.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
All right. Troy.
Yep. So yeah, Outer Range on Friday. Co-hosting on all those streams you guys talked about. And I'm trying to think, have I decided on a double feature for next Monday? I don't think I have.
Well, I just assumed you were going to do Karate Kid 3 and 4. Or are you holding off on that?
After we got interrupted with not being able to stream on the 15th, moved parts 1 and 2 to yesterday. Boomer and I thought maybe we just hold off on doing those until the second half of Cobra Kai drops. So we'll hold on to that one now. And so I haven't decided yet what Monday night at the movies will be, but look forward to it. And that's Monday on my channel, 9 Central. 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
All right. Yeah. On over to me. Let's see. Uh, this Thursday afternoon at 4:30, I will be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater, and we are going to be watching Air Force One with Harrison Ford.
Get off my
Later
plane.
on, get off my plane. Yeah. And then later on that night, after Thursday things, tentatively scheduled for 11:30 will be the weekend update. A chance to touch base with my loyal subscribers and channel members. And channel members, I'm going to be posting something about. I'm going to put it up to a vote when you want to do the next member stream, because I owe you 2 member streams, and I want to get to them very soon. All right, and then of course I will be joining Outlaw Bill again Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern for Western Cinema Presents, and we are going to be watching The Homesman, starring and directed by Tommy Lee Jones and Hilary Swank, Tim Blake Nelson, John Lithgow, and Haley Steinfeld, and a number of others. And of course, later on that night will be episode 72 of my series Unscripted, entitled Lawyers, Guns, and Money, but mostly lawyers. And I am going to be taking a shot at our legal system because the reason why I will not be doing The Other Side of Midnight this week is because I have jury duty on Monday.
Oh.
Yay!
And my answer will be hang him, but he ran a red light. Yes.
You get to watch the
Hang
movie
him from
12
the yard.
12 Angry Men. Yeah,
12
exactly.
Angry Men.
And thank you, Lady Mist, for hosting the links, and Curtis as well. Thank you.
Yeah. You guys are
All
awesome.
Right. Indeed. All right. And then, of course, join us right back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hopefully, StreamYard and Cosme will not get in the way again next week. And join us for part 5 of Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yep.
All right. Any last words before we wrap it up?
Hello. I guess we're not going to see that again. I don't know if he's. Well, we'll see. Maybe we will.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to thank you guys for coming along on this crazy journey with us. Stick with us. I'll do my best to make it make sense.
Yeah. And welcome to Clue Channel. Clue, you have been gifted a membership, my friend, on my channel, thanks to I believe it was either Curtis or Vilnation.
Yeah.
Curtis.
Curtis?
Yep.
All right. And of course, all of the links are being dropped in the chat by Curtis and Lady Mist. So, watch us, please.
Yes.
Yep.
We're decent people. I think we do a good show.
Yeah.
We have.
I think we're good. Please watch our show. No, okay. Please. We could use to watch ours. All right. Well, we had 109 people watching us at one point.
Wow.
This evening. I do want to thank Tom Connors and everybody over at Midnight's Edge After Dark tonight for the raid. Thank you very much. We managed to keep some of that audience.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of a niche show. I get it. But this is one of those shows where I think the right people will get it. And stay tuned, because we still have 14 episodes left in this season. We're going to be doing a deep dive into other David Lynch films, including Mulholland Drive. We are going to have some guests on to take an even deeper dive. I want to start talking about the fan films again. There's another channel, Obnoxious and Anonymous, that is a Twin Peaks channel, which I have been staying away from, not because of the content, because it's great content, but because I don't want spoilers for season 3.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to Cameron so fucking bad, but I can't, because and he has said this to me backstage. He doesn't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
So, we are eventually going to have him on the show to discuss Twin Peaks as well, and his own fan films, and where he's going with that in the future. All right. I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat. Some faces that have been with us from the very beginning. Some new ones.
Yep.
I hope you will join us next week. And Netta, would you like to take us out with your last words?
Sure. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat, and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in excuse me. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. You can be anywhere right now, and you're here. And it's so encouraging to see you guys here. And not just for those of us on the panel, but for everyone in the chat. Just the way you guys, encourage one another. It's really great to see. So thank you for showing up on all of our streams. Thank you for supporting us through all this craziness. Thank you for being a part of our family. And until Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, good night and God bless.
Boomer refuses to come up with a catchphrase.
Oh, well, I did hello a few times.
Hello.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So I will go with my normal closer. I want to once again thank everybody for joining us in the chat. Everyone who joined us on Twitter, I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Please hit the like, share out the stream, and if you are new to any of our channels, or the channels of those who are in the chat, please subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, and say hello in the comments. From the corner of Sparkwood and 21, from HQ, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Stay safe. Because this is how we win.
Es ist Futur. Wow. Es ist Past.